going on, fight fans? UFC 196. Well, Conor McGregor went up to 170, ended up getting slapped around a little bit by Nate Diaz, and I just actually got a chance to watch it today. Missed it on Saturday. That's why I'm late with these uploads. But yeah, I haven't felt that much joy out of seeing someone get their ass beat since the Adrian Broner Chino Maidana fight. But looking into it, a lot of people were saying, "Oh well, you know, Conor was jumping up 2 weight classes and he should have never been there, and he was dominating." Well, I can agree with part of that. He shouldn't have been jumping up weight classes. They're there for a reason. I think he believed and fell into his own hype a little bit too much. And it's a good thing to be confident, but it's also you got to keep that confidence in check. You got to be realistic about it. You have to be realistic about your abilities and what the other guy brings, and um, then realize that, hey, I've always been going into these 145-pound bouts as a bigger man. Conor cuts, enormous amount of weight. I'm not sure from exactly where, but I think people have said he cuts from like 170 down to 145, and that's why he looks like a skeleton on the in the weigh-ins, at least the previous weigh-ins for the lightweight, featherweight, and I think he just believed his own hype a little bit too much. He got overconfident and just went over there, not respecting bigger guys, not respecting that they can take more punches and they're going to be able to hang in there. They're going to be able to not only hit harder, because even if the guy's not a power puncher at 170, he can still hit harder than most guys at lightweight, 145, 155, and I don't think really Conor thought too much of that. I think he was just focused on what he can do, what he can bring to the table, and he brings a little bit of length for the 145 weight class, and he brings a lot of power. And I think the power was still there. I think it translated well. He was catching Diaz, cutting him. I think he buzzed him a few times. It wasn't anything that made him like chicken leg or drop down to the canvas, but when you're landing flush shots and you see Nate's head go flying back, or you see a big old gash open up, that's because it's got some power. A light puncher couldn't cut guys like that, unless they land at the exact right angle, of the glove to cause a tear or a cut. But, I just watched the fight, and the guys, we're kind of headhunting a little. Conor was trying a few kicks, but it was more of like, little front kicks. Just not too much power, just trying to chisel away, just trying to, I think, maybe gauge his range. And Nate Diaz was just circling around, popping the jab, moving laterally. Just keeping him at bay, trying to keep him at end of those long shots, because, like I said, Conor's had the advantage in the lower weight classes with his reach and with his power. Well, at this, I'm not going to say who was the more powerful puncher, because I don't know. But maybe Conor, who knows, because, he was, if you look at their faces after the fight, there's a clear indication of the damage done. So they were kind of circling around, taking it easy, and Nate said, yeah, I took it easy the first round because I knew I didn't have the cardio to necessarily, like, start out gung-ho, bat out of hell from the first round. So he had to kind of ease into it and pace himself to be able to get all 5 rounds if it had gone 5 rounds. And, he was just saying that because of the 10-day, I don't even know if it was 10-day training camp, but it was a 10-day notice. So how many days of training camp was that? Probably not many, probably maybe like 5. I heard, or I saw a report that someone was saying that he only had a couple of days, like 3 days training camp for this fight. So, yeah, I know some people are going to be like, well, it was a new fight for Conor too. He had to adjust. Well, the thing is, Conor himself had been saying that he knew that this was going to happen, that he knew after Aldo pulled out, and he knew after RDA pulled out that, you know, he was going to have to find a dance partner. So they had already been calling Nate Diaz, and that was confirmed by him because he had said even from the previous fights with Aldo fell through that they had contacted him, asked him to be a late sub, but for whatever reasons never turned out until now. So they go in there kind of, you know, feeling each other out. Conor's, you can tell he's trying to put a lot of power on all his shots. And some of them he's just straight out missing, some catching glove, and some coming close but not quite there yet. And eventually he starts landing some shots, especially in the second. I think that's, you know, when he caught him and he started like tagging that cut over his eye over and over, or at least trying to. But, you know, Nate kept him at the end of his jab, just kept composure, and come the second round, he started opening up more, you know, putting that straight left behind the jab afterwards. And at one point, you know, he finally clipped him, and that little buzzing, you know, chin shot is what, you know, inevitably set up the KO or the submission. You know, Conor got rocked, he got buzzed, you know, because immediately just boom, give a little stanky leg dance real quick and kind of like slowly step back and stopped his offense. And Nate realized that and recognized it, went in, started following up some shots. Eventually they got to the floor, got back up, but when he got back up, he grabbed Conor, shot a knee straight in his gut or solar plex, and he even said on the interview, on the post-fight, he's like, man, I knew that was a wrap because I was slowly getting to him, touching him, and, you know, when I caught him with that shot, I buzzed him, and I followed up, and then I got him against the cage and hit him with that knee, and he's like, I heard him like, you know, knock the wind out of or hurt the guy to the body, you get the, you know, that funny-ass sound. But so he knew it was a wrap. From there, they went to the ground, or actually, no, they didn't go to the ground. Conor actually tried shooting on Nate, tried to take him to the ground because he knew he was rocked. So when he realized he was rocked, I think he realized, okay, I can't keep this pace. He's catching me at the end of his punches when I'm not catching him with mine. And the punches I have caught him with, they haven't hurt him. At least, you know, not noticeably enough to where he had the confidence to follow up and go at it. So, you know, he shot a takedown on Nate because I think he was rocked, and it was just more out of, like, natural reaction. You know, what do you do when you're buzzed? You hang on, you know. In mixed martial arts, you either tie up or move around the octagon, I guess. And instead, Conor wanted to try to hold on with his lack of wrestling. And from there, Nate was able to pass him, jump on top. I think he landed maybe a few tiny little punches. And immediately, Conor gave up his back, and Nate grabbed it, sunk in the chokehold, and it was quick. I'm talking, not only like was the transition to the to the choke quick, but Conor tapped out faster than I have seen anyone tap out as of recently. And looking at the co-main event, Holly Holmes and Miesha Tate, it's funny because, you know, you have the two girl fighters, and a lot of people give that, you know, some flack because, you know, women shouldn't be in there. Well, Holly Holm got put in the same type situation where she had a choke on her by Miesha Tate, and Holly Holm did not tap. She ended up going to sleep. But yet we have the men, same scenario. One guy gets a chokehold, submission hold on the other, and Conor, the guy, taps. So I think that was kind of ironic. You know, the woman held out and toughed it out and ended up getting submitted, but she didn't give up. She didn't tap out. Well, you have the brash, loudmouth, you know, guy that makes you want to believe that he's, you know, the definition of macho, ends up tapping out. and it was a quick tap. So I think I think it's safe to say that he folds under pressure. He likes to believe that he is the alpha dog until he gets put in a situation where, you know, he is, you know, he's getting done what those other guys have done to him. Once the pressure's on him, he can't handle it. That's why he always tries to put pressure on everybody else, you know, being vocal, talking shit, you know, trying to get in other guys' head. He's trying to put pressure on them instead of, you know, having the pressure on himself. And when the pressure's on himself, he folded, and that's not the first time either. He's tapped before, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And like I said, this is the fastest tap I've seen in a while. And ironic that Holly Holmes got put in a chokehold, yet she refused to tap. She did not give up. So that's just my thought on the fight. Great main event. Wish it would have gone a little longer. Wish we could have seen these guys beat each other up a little bit too much. But hey, you know, that's just being picky now. But I thought it was a great card. Glad to see Conor, you know, get some of that humble pie. You know, you see these memes out there. Some of them had posted, you know, talking about, you know, from Mayweather to Adrian Broner real quick. And, you know, Conor was talking about, yeah, Nate, you know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do when I'm in the cage eating your carcass like a lion? And he's like, you're just a weak gazelle. Well, the gazelle ended up eating the lion. You know, and you see all sorts of memes that are fucking hilarious. What you guys think? Think it went like you expected, or what do y'all have to say about it? I thought it was a great fight. Let me know what y'all think. Third Coast Boxing, MMA. I'm out.